what concerns me when I'm looking to buy stocks are, and just in general for small cap, are the bigger players, the people with the bigger accounts, the people with the bigger size, the people that are going to be affecting the actual price action. And so the two people that I care about are institutional investors, um, your HC Wainwrights, your Aegises, and all the ones running the offerings, essentially the dilution, the dumping of the shares onto these companies, these financings and offerings, the ones who have millions of shares to dump. Okay. Those people I'm concerned about, where are they? They tell you where they are for the most part. They're either everywhere with an ATM or convertible shares where they can dump a lot of toxic financing right now, Anthony. A lot of toxic like that I've been seeing. My skin had 600 stocks under a buck today, over 600 stocks under a buck, and they're going down to like 3 cents again and 5 cents because there's a lot of toxic financing. And for those who don't really understand that, like death spiral financing, well, they get convertible shares at a price in discount to like VWAP and to the price that stock's trading at, and they can just keep converting at lower prices. So actually, the lower it goes, the more shares they get to accumulate. And I actually have strategies kind of revolving around this stuff right now too, because a lot of my strategies revolve around this fundamental idea of what these guys are doing, the institutional investors and the companies themselves, fundamentally, right? That's, at least for me, it's where some of the edge and many of the strategies I trade come from as a long in this space. Because if I can identify the worst, that naturally is going to eliminate me being dumped on. So them and short sellers, because the shorts, if there's a hedge fund, they're shorting these things for the most part. They're not buying penny stocks. Outside of very small occasions, I'm not seeing a lot of institutional ownership of these things. You know what I mean? So that's a big deal. The short sellers with the bigger accounts are the ones, and really it keeps me, as long as I can keep in that flow. It's a big part of me not being stopped out all the time, or taking huge losses all the time. I just know where shorts are, and where they make the most money is where I need to be the most careful. Where their risk is the highest, when their risk is best, which is up near highs always, snuggling to highs, my risk is worse no matter what. So that's kind of what's molded my thing. Is I can be wrong a lot too with trading reversals, because I'm trade and the psychology that the volume slows down there. Um, the price comes to me. I'm not fighting with people for price on reversals. I'm actually taking advantage of the opposite, that they're fearful and they're selling to me still if I want. um, that whole dynamic is really beautiful to me, at least, the psychology behind it, and then having these price targets where I know the other player, which is me, retail longs in particular in my eyes, um, which is still the masses. It's still kind of the masses of pawns, just smaller accounts and stuff like that. And we are pawns for the institutional investors. And we do, the shorts can thank us because we are the ones who drive these prices up. The institutional banks can thank us. The companies themselves can thank us. But I feel like it's a big scam, personally, that they get to do this to retail traders who don't know any better. To me, yeah, we've had pump and dumpers throughout time, and bad characters and frauds and stuff, like from the teaching aspect or trading aspect. But the companies themselves in small cap, I think, should be illegal. This whole process. I do. They don't, the reason it's not is because they tell you. It's up to you. They warn you not to invest in their stuff. If you look in 110Q, it's going to tell you, listen, this is why, this is the risk. They have to do it legally. Of course, it's mumbo jumbo to us, but that's why we can't do anything about it. So, and sorry, last note. And because it's a scam, if you know the scam, you can be on the right side of it. And these scammers, the companies themselves they pump well sometimes. I mean, huge runs, undoubted potential. It's definitely, there's so much potential every day within small cap to the long side, but there's also so much danger. So, and that's where the risk management comes into play. That's why I don't chase stocks. That's why I don't buy breakouts even, really. Because I know if I'm an institutional investor with, say, 5 million shares to dump on a stock, they are going to, they're not going to say, let's be nice today, Anthony. How do you feel, Anthony? Let's be nice. Okay. No, they're not. They're going to dump they're going to do it indiscriminately and get their money back, because these companies, they know this is the only way they get their money back. And because of that, if you understand that, you can kind of like scam with the scammers. And I have so many not so many, but I have several strategies built upon that too.